You're watching Student Nation Television, station DSTU, the Motivation Station, Newark, Delaware, 19711. I'd like to welcome all of the mighty Student Nation. I hope you all are doing well. And, we wanted to take some time out today to talk a little bit about this coronavirus thing that's circulating the earth right now, and especially our country, in which many people are, unfortunately, have passed away and many have been made sick. And I want to discuss with the Student Nation the kind of attitude that you should have in light of what's going on. So let's get right into it. You know, this coronavirus has taken a terrible effect on the country. But just like any other experience, the way you respond to it means everything. Someone can come home one day and tell you, I want a divorce. The way you respond to it can determine the future quality, health, and happiness of your life. You could report to work one day and on your job and your boss would tell you, look, I got to lay you off. How you respond to it can determine whether or not you're going to have the courage, the patience, and the faith to look for another job and or create a job to keep yourself in the cash flow until things get better. How we respond to things mean everything. And most of the time, what we think about things is what they become to us and what they are to us. Now, let's relate that to this coronavirus thing. Now, students out there, Student Nation, I want you to be very diligent in your thinking as we talk about this. Because one of the points I want to emphasize to you is no matter what, stay positive. And what do I mean by stay positive? Think good thoughts. Think thoughts of health, not of sickness. Don't give in to the world mind of paranoia and sickness. Stop talking about coronavirus unnecessarily. Talk about the things you want to see demonstrated in your life. Talk about the way you want to feel. Talk about how you want your children to look and do. Talk about your visions and goals for the future. I'm not asking you to be unrealistic. In fact, I'm asking you to be scientific. Because the way we think about things means everything. If you're in a mental state of fear or paranoia about this sickness, chances are, because you fear it deeply, that's just like saying you believe in it. And if you believe in it, you know what's going to happen? You're going to attract it right to you. You're going to attract that sick person right to you. Because in your mind, that's the dominant thought. And you're carrying it with you all the time. You're always talking about it. So consequently, we become what we think about. And you'll attract that sick person to you, and the next thing you know, you're sick. So the first thing I want you to understand, Student Nation, is the right psychological and mental attitude and atmosphere that you should have in response to this virus. Everything starts in the mind first. So the first protection you want to put on yourself is the protection of positive thought. Then you follow the physical recommendations of washing your hands, for 20 seconds as much as you can, throughout the day. Keeping your hands clean, keeping your distance from people, avoid being around people that cough, and all that kind of stuff. But if you're thinking right about the situation, 9 times out of 10, you won't even attract this stuff to you. The news media, CNN and other outlets are playing up this virus and frightening people. I heard Dr. Sanjay Gupta say last week on CNN that in order to really get the gist of how serious the virus is in America today, that people should act like they already have it. That was the most craziest statement he could have ever made. I was shocked that a professional would let that kind of poisonous thinking come out of his mouth. I'm telling you right now, students, don't you think like you already have it. Don't act like you already have it, because that is an admission that you do have it. So now you're conditioning your mind. I got to act like I already got it. That way it'll help me stay acute and stay aware. So I got to act like I already have it. But what happens is the more you repeat that to yourself, the deeper that goes into your subconscious. And your subconscious is that part of your mind where awareness doesn't exist. But what does exist is the power of belief and the power of creativity and the power of attraction. And the more you think about that and rehearse this idea that you have to act like you already have it in order to get the gist of how serious it is, those ideas are planted like a seed in your subconscious. And the next thing you know, you have the sickness. Because you put yourself in the situation where it is, or you attract to yourself, by virtue of your thinking, you attract to yourself the person that has it. So Student Nation, please be diligent in your thinking. Don't be thinking negative thoughts. Don't be thinking thoughts of paranoia concerning this virus. Don't be thinking thoughts of fear concerning it. Be scientific like you are. Maintain your intellectual independence like you can. Be intelligent. Keep your hands clean. Follow the protocol, the guidelines that the doctors and other administrators are asking us to do in terms of our physical bodies. Wash your hands several times a day. Avoid people who are coughing. Keep your distance from people as much as you can. But other than that, don't allow yourself mentally to be dragged down into the cesspool of fear, into the cesspool of expectation, to the cesspool of paranoia concerning this thing. Because the fact is, in life, it's always going to be something or another. It's coronavirus today. Tomorrow, it might be the economy. And if it's not the economy, it might be race relations. If it's not race relations, it might be something else. So I want you to keep in mind, Student Nation, how you respond to a situation means everything. And now I want to also remind you of your greatness as individuals and as a group. I'm talking about economically now, and your power to incorporate and create jobs for yourself and those that you love. You know, with this virus is coming a manifestation of how these corporate entities are responding to it. Many people are losing their jobs. GM and Ford and a few of the other major car manufacturers, auto manufacturers in Detroit are shutting down. Thousands of people are going to lose their jobs. But the good thing about all this is, even though it might be a crisis, it's also an opportunity. And it's an opportunity for great ones like you students out there. Now, I want you to listen to me carefully, because this is an opportunity for you all to come together and form think tanks, come together and form student business coalitions and student business corporations, entrepreneurial associations made up of students, for the purpose of building, working, dreaming, and creating economic venues for yourself. In other words, creating your own jobs and not being so dependent on these corporate entities that are out here in the world today. Your time as student adults are being dependent on these present-day corporate dynasties like Capital One, Chase, Wawa, Bay Health, Kaiser Steel, Memorial Hospital, the subway systems, the transit systems, all these major corporations, the time of your dependency on these corporations for a job is over. You know why? Because they can no longer be depended on as a source of security. When you're looking around you at this coronavirus situation, like I said, thousands of people are about to be laid off in Detroit right now. What are those people going to do? How are they going to make a living? Many of them are going to lose their homes and other precious things that are a part of their life. This is where the mighty student nation has to stand up and start creating businesses and corporations where businesses can be created, and you can do it. So, like I said, the present day corporate dynasties can't be depended on anymore. Why? As a source of security. Why? Because number one, they outsource our jobs. They don't want to pay taxes. They lay people off. They close factories, and they even fight the minimum wage increase. As a result of them doing these things, people are left without hope. Many times people lose their homes, their families, their self-esteem, and some lose their minds, and even others commit suicide. So you see, Student Nation, you students today must rid yourselves of all self-limiting thinking. Say to yourself, I can do whatever I apply my mind to, and age has nothing to do with it. For example, by ridding yourself of all self-limiting thoughts, here's an example of what I mean. When you say stuff like, I'm not smart enough, that's a lie. I'm too young, that's a lie. I can't because I'm black, that's a lie. I can't because I'm a black woman or a black girl, that's a lie. These are all lies. You can accomplish your will. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. As long as you have a clear picture in your mind of what you want, you have a plan, you're patient, you're consistent, and you're united. So don't be sitting around waiting on these corporations to give you a job any longer. All of y'all come together and say to yourself, we are going to incorporate right where we are. And we're going to use our brains and our minds and our intellects and our love and our unity and our power to create something beneficial to us, to our classmates, and to anybody else that want a job. That's what you're capable of, Student Nation. Don't be waiting on these dynasties. They are not dependable. Most of them are dishonest anyway. The point being is that you are thinking beings, and you can get it done. Simply say and believe. Let me repeat that. Simply say to yourself and believe, yes, I can. And then act like it. Let me repeat that. Simply say and believe, yes, I can. And then act like it. Another thing I want to point out as I close this out. Remember, age has nothing to do with success. Life does not reward you because of your age. Life rewards you because of your efforts. You can do it too. Because you have America's freedoms, which is among the greatest blessings in the world. To be able to move freely, to think, build, work, and create. You have those freedoms. You can do it too because you have each other's personality. You have each other's skills. You have each other's knowledge. You have each other's enthusiasm. You have each other's protection. You have each other's wisdom. You have each other's encouragement. You have everything you need in your own Student Nation right on the campus where you are now. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, who was a student at Harvard, do you think he's the only student with a brain? No, you have a brain too. And you can think, build, dream, and create just like he can. He doesn't have a monopoly on intelligence or opportunity or time. And most certainly not youth. And you have all of those things. All you have to do is incorporate all that with a plan, with an idea, with your own vision, and then go to work. In closing, I'd like for you to recite this with me. I'm not going to be broke no more. I'm not being afraid no more. I'm not trying to do things alone no more. I'm reaching out to my fellow student, accounting students, business students, marketing students, public relations students, science students. You have each other. Plan together, think together, create together, build together, sacrifice together. And you can build and make a contribution to this current situation that will enhance life and give people faith and confidence. Go ahead and try. I dare you. Peace to the nation.